everybody, welcome back. This is going to be an after-action report for Operation Buffalo. The Axis and Comintern surrendered after the 12th turn for the United States and have happily accepted. The writing was on the wall. We did discuss it in Discord before we actually came to the decision, and I offered them a chance to really stop and think about it. But they said that they talked about it amongst themselves, and that it seemed pretty clear on the board that it was going to be an eventual Allied victory. And I have to agree, to be honest. I hate to sound arrogant right out of the gate, but I do feel this was a pretty resounding Allied success. One big indicator was the fact that the Commonwealth itself was doing so well. There were a number of moves early in the sort of early to mid game that really tipped the scales in the Allies' favour, especially against the Axis. And it just kind of snowballed from there for the Axis. Losing the Vichy fleet, and then the Italian fleet, turn 8, turn 9, going from Mers el Kabir to Cape Matapan is it's a poor year, and it just kind of set the stage. Then, from that period in time, I'm just going to sort of lean into my game here. From that point in time, actually, it was basically from the end of the Italian turn 8, when the fleet was left hanging, my strategic focus switched to the Soviet Union. And that's not a criticism of Nathan as a player. I think he played the move he thought would serve him best, and it didn't work out. But the net result was that, basically after that Italian fleet died, I was like, right, how can I switch my focus to the Soviet Union? And you can see the results. We've only just started turn 12, but we're threatening the Soviet Union from the south, and Tactical's doing well in Russia. He's obviously about to go on the offensive towards Germany, but having to split his forces, I just think that even from Tactical's point of view, as strong as it is, he's not looking at a win. Because I've got the United States to follow up the UK, who are almost one-manning it, because France is out of the game. I said the UK, I mean the Commonwealth as a whole. The Commonwealth is one-manning it, and then the United States coming in. The writing's on the wall. So I very much like to thank my opponents. I had a great game. It was a lot of fun. I especially enjoyed a little bit of diplomatic back and forth with Tactical. Thanks very much to my opponents. I'd happily play with them again. So I'm just going to talk very quickly about the games. I've talked mostly about mine. It was pretty dominant. I made a few mistakes here and there, but nothing I can't live with. I'm going to reevaluate my tech game. I don't think it was bad. I liked how tech turned out, but I think I can work on tech to have a better overall impact on the Commonwealth game if I was to do it again. I'm very happy with my early game. Moving units about, getting them where I think I needed them. There's never any real threat, and it gave me a solid base to start counter-attacking, which is what you can see. You can see in the Mediterranean. I was already planning out my next move, which was to take Rome. I've not crunched numbers. I don't know if I could have done it. I think I could have, but I'm not sure. And had I survived the Italian counter-attack, that would have been the Italians out of the wall, and then the Germans and the Soviets are fighting on two fronts against me, and who knows really, we can only speculate so much, but overall, I'm really happy with my game. Some things I need to sort of pick up on, sort of try and remember them better, but no, pretty good game overall. Not too many mistakes. Tactical's game was a pretty good game. I think his one mistake, and I think he agrees with it himself, was coming into Northern Iraq. That gave me a casus belli to just come in and absolutely start wrecking face. And I think if he didn't have to worry about this, if this was not the situation, this would have been exceptionally dangerous. Because there's a lot of power here, there's a lot of power to follow up, and there is not a lot in the way. Nathan could certainly throw up a defence, depending on which direction Tactical goes in, and there's still some mopping up to do. So he's got a bit of time, but I think Tactical's only real mistake was going into Northern Iraq. Unfortunately, it cost him the game. But everything else he did was pretty solid play. No particular notes on my part. Nathan, just very quickly, I think it's fair to point out that he was definitely under mental overload. Playing as the whole axis by yourself is difficult. If we had a fourth, we definitely would have split Western and Eastern axis. Some strong points. His Japan game, early game, was pretty terrifying, to be fair. When he had that huge stack in sync, I thought, that's it, he's just going to kill the CCP, and then he's just going to come for the KMT. He's just going to absolutely kill everyone in China. Consequences be damned. He just wants to close that front. I don't know how well that would have worked, but it was pretty solid. But then he kind of like, I wouldn't say abandoned it. He kind of like sort of went for a containment plan and then went for Dutch East Indies, which unfortunately cost him a lot. If Japan made any one real error, it was in their execution of the Dutch East Indies, but I don't think that's anything that can't be fixed with a re-evaluation on Nathan's part. He's pretty new to V4. I don't know how new he is to Global War in general, but I think that's just a simple re-evaluation, and he'll absolutely nail that. The thing that really got him, I think, though, was leaving those two transports over here exposed, and then me managing to kill those two transports here. It weakened very much Japan's naval game. Their land game was still strong up until this point. They've still got a large force, but it's split. But there's still a lot of strength there. I don't know if he could have continued much more of an offensive, but he definitely could have. He definitely wasn't being resoundingly defeated at this point in the game. So a few I'd say misdirections and a couple of kind of serious problems, but overall not a bad game of Japan. Germany, not too bad. A few moves that he's moving to going into the Soviet Union. He said himself he thinks went a bit early, but his reasoning is pretty fair in my opinion. I don't think he made a pretty serious error there. He's thin on the ground now. Tactical made a couple of pretty good moves, pretty clever moves to sort of chip away at the overall German force and then smash what was left to leave us in the situation we are now. Again, I think this is mostly just a bit of refinement in Nathan's game. Just sort of have a look back at it and see what he could have, not so much what he could have changed in his overall strategy, because I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think he just needs to take a step back and say, what can I do better here? What can I do better there? I don't think he played a particularly bad game in the East. Tactical just kind of outplayed him a bit, and a bit more refinement and a little bit more experience. There's not really anything out of the ordinary of what happened in the East. This has happened to me before in early games, so I'm not going to be overly critical. In the rest of Europe, I don't think it made too many mistakes either. I was interested to see this big air attack come in. Obviously, saw it coming. Nathan himself has said he's not a meta gamer. He sort of does what he thinks is fun, what sort of it feels like a good idea, and not what is like an established move, which is fine. I think of the three of us, he played that sort of way the heaviest, and it does show. But I'm not being overly critical here. He still has a lot of strength on the board. It's concentrated in certain areas, but I wouldn't count him out. I wouldn't count out his Germany play. Again, I just think, like his Japan play, he just needs to just refine it a little bit and be a powerhouse. That brings us to Italy. He said himself he went against the grain and got punished for it. There are moves that I would have done that he didn't do, and vice versa. And I've not played many games as Italy, so I'm not going to try and. I know I kind of like I'm ragging him a bit, but you play the cards dealt. Nathan couldn't have known what was going to happen with the Vichy fleet, and I kind of put him on the back foot. I took advantage of it, and then here we are. You can see this Rome move is coming. Maybe not. Maybe I'd do it or not. I don't know, but I don't think he played badly. I just think if he plays a couple more games, gets a bit more experience under his belt. Be a good game overall. Be a good player overall, I should say. It was just a couple of things here and there that piled up on him. Me knocking out his fleets here, Tactical knocking out his fleet up there, Tactical pulling off a few smart moves here. It just kind of, death by 1,000 cuts is, I think, what happened to the Axis in general in this game. They just had a couple of hits that took them too hard, and they weren't really in a position to recover, especially considering how well the Commonwealth was doing. So yeah, not really a criticism of Nathan and his play or anything. It's just the gods were not on his side this game. So I enjoyed this game very much. I'm not gonna keep going on about this. Again, thank you very much, Nathan and Tactical. I had an absolute blast, and I hope to see you again in another game sometime soon. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you watched Operation Buffalo all the way through, I very much appreciate it, although I doubt many people watched it, but that's fine. And that'll do for now. So I guess I'll say until next time, goodbye for now.